So my live camp was muted. I noticed upon looking at it. I don't know what exactly happened. All right, and the damn devil, man. Because that was a great, hey, man. That was a great couple hours. It was from a different channel I have set up. I believe it's called Hopeful Elect 144K, I believe. And so I went back to review it, and I noticed that there ain't no sound, man. And that really just put a really just angry at ease spirit on me, man. Cause it's like you think you had a good lesson. It was great. It was edifying, right? This damn devil. I don't know how you took how the hell you take a sound off of a camera 5 video, man. I don't know. But I started to think about it. I started to meditate on it, and I just came across uh, Revelation chapter 2, verse 13. It says, "I know thy works." See, the Lord knows our works, man. And there, something happened to somebody. 12 was out there. There's a shit ton of people out there. And where I was at exactly, I was surprised that I didn't get pressed by 12, man. Because it was definitely, it was very, it was just very demonic forces out there, man. All right, and part of you gets, you get worried because you're like, yeah, you want to stay diligent, you want to present your diligence, show that, you're doing all your lessons, you're doing all the things necessary. So that made me very upset, I just got real mad at E, but, there's nothing you can do. But anyways, verse 13, "I know thy works and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is." So the Most High basically knows everything, man. And he knows our heart, man. The most important thing is, going out and bringing out the word, man. Doing your sit downs, praying, fasting, watching your videos of your elders, and pushing this thing to the best of your ability. It says, "And thou holdest fast my name, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and hast not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth. But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication. So hast thou also them that hold the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, which thing I hate. Repent, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and I will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna," which is, really this wisdom, right? "And will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it." Yeah, and that's what these damn groups like ISUPK, IUIC, they want to say, that we don't know the name of the Lord, which through faith his name is Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And we feel that. We can feel that in our spirit, man. Okay? We can feel that in our spirit. We know that Yahweh is his name, man. All right. And unto the angel of the church in Thyatira write, these things saith the Son of power, who hath his eyes like unto a flame of fire, and his feet are like fine brass. I know thy works, and charity, and service, and faith, and thy patience. So yeah, I had to get over it. You just thinking ahead. Hey man, you did your thing. You reached who you could reach, and ultimately cutting off the sound or whatever the hell he did. It just makes me so that I can just deal with the technical difficulties and go through and just try to make sure everything's good, and that's part of the patience. That's part of faith. That's part of the service. That's part of the works. Sometimes ease gonna hinder your works, man. Because that was a great lesson. I remember one of the most important things that I talked about was, when you go and you knock at someone's door, and the son answers, and you ask for the father, right? The son goes upstairs, and he speaks to the father, for the father to come down to the door. And I was speaking about how we're at the point where we've asked the son to go get the father. The son has gone upstairs. He told the father. And now we're to the point where the son is about to come down the stairs and come to the door and greet us and invite us in. And soon the father is going to come down the stairs. And that's very spiritual. That in order to get to the father, you need the son, man. Because you can't just come into the house. No. You must be invited into the house. Okay, it says, and that was one of the reasons why I was so upset that there wasn't any sound in this video, man. Because it was just great. You had classic scoffers. You had a group of people ask me if I needed gloves or needed a coat. Fucking devils. In which I just ignored them for the most part. It's just best to do that. Don't even entertain these damn devils. Let me go ahead and continue. It says, the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 19. I know thy works and charity and service and faith and thy patience and thy works, and the last to be more than the first. Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, which is that Jezebel spirit, man, that queen of heaven, spirit. It says to teach and seduce my servants to commit fornication, and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. And I gave her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not. Behold, I will cast her into a bed, and them that commit adultery with her into great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds. So that was the bit. And see, this location that was at, I didn't intend to actually go out there. I just so happened to be in the area, and Spirit was on me to go there, so that's where I went. Right, so you out there, and part of preaching the word is preaching repentance. Because we can't cause people to repent. The Heavenly Father causes people to repent. It says, and I will kill her children with death, and all the churches shall know that I am He which searcheth the reins and hearts, and I will give unto every one of you according to your works. And the spirit out there was very, it was very cold. And you could tell that there was a lot of people that were just really drunk, man. They were just happy. There was a very deep folly spirit out there, and a lot of the so-called white people, man, they acted like I wasn't even there, man. They had such, and the demons were so heavy on them, you know. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. Verse 24, but unto you I say, and unto the rest in Thyatira, as many as have not this doctrine, and which have not known the depths of Satan, as they speak, I will put upon you none other burden, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. So yeah, we gonna be beating you damn devils down, man. You know, I wanted to say something to that devil when he asked me, you know, do I need gloves? I was gonna ask him, do you need some chains around your damn neck? You know, but I had to play it cool, because where I was specifically, really, it you know, I couldn't be out there going extra hard, or you already know what time it is, man. I was down kind of like by a coastal um, little waterway, kind of like by a harbor. So I had to keep it cool. It says, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken in shivers, even as I received of my Father. Yeah, man, so we gonna receive the right to beat you damn devils down, man, and you other nations. And I will give him the morning star. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. Right, and in us receiving Yahushua, he is that morning star. He's the reason why we're in this position, because he taught, right? He taught the men of the Lord prior to him leaving in the chariot. All right, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. Okay, and the things that we were taught from our apostle elders on down, we have to adhere to it. You know, and through the Spirit, I was just so into the lesson. I didn't really notice who was walking around me. Right here, people stop. I believe a guy was taking a picture. I'm not too sure. I was just so into the lesson. And it was so cold. All I could really do was just put my mind to focus on the scriptures. You know. But in the background, right there on that big screen, they were playing a football game. I think it was Alabama versus Florida, SEC championship. So you could hear a bunch of yelling. It's a bunch of yelling and screaming and people, and it was, I don't know, man. Shit was horrible. It was horrible. It was horrible to see the people yell. I mean, they were yelling so damn loud, and the people walking past were just yelling and loud and obnoxious and just craving that attention. But when you just doing your lesson, you're not really paying attention to them, and make them demons stir up. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, to know that I have loved thee. See these damn devils. Hey man, they gonna be worshiping at our feet. And I called this lesson in the valley of the shadow of death, I believe. And it was a good lesson, man. it was a great lesson. And that's why I was so damn upset that the audio didn't record. Cause I thought I was only gonna be out there maybe 40 minutes. I wound up being out there a little bit over 2 hours, man. And it didn't feel like that long through the spirit, because I was just hitting many different points. Things were lining up well. Things were pinging off well. Everything was going good. Then I go to review the video yesterday, and yeah, man, none of the audio recorded. So it is what it is. Lord's will. It's another day. To bring out the word, man. More lessons, more sit downs. You know, more screen recordings. Everything is done to the will and power and testament of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You know, my sign, my 12 tribe sign, it damn flopped, fell over. The wind knocked it over, and I'm gonna try to find a place to do a actual big sign. I had made a sign, but I'm trying to find a place to make a actual sign. I already have a uh, a sign holder, like a big wooden sign holder. So now, through the spirit, I know exactly where I'm gonna go. It's this place that makes signs, so hopefully they can produce a sign from an image that I downloaded, the original 12 tribes sign. The classic sign that all the brothers got with the line in the background, and it shows the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom. Hopefully I can get one of those, so I can take that handmade sign, and I can just put it in my room or something like that. It was a great video, man. It's a great video, and it was a great lesson. And maybe that happened just to make this video, to just endure, just endure and continue to move forward, despite what this devil does. I've seen so many. I've seen so many of E, man. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 25. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. Yeah, in which I seen a lot of you damn devils the other night, man. And when they see you, some of them get scared, some of them laugh, and then some of them get angry. They get real angry, right? And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Jacob's name later on was changed to Israel after he wrestled an angel. Okay, it says and Isaac was 80 old when she bare them. Yes, and a score is 20. So he would be what, 60? And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sawed pottage, Salakia. And Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me? Yeah, man. So had he prayed, right? Had he prayed, had he prepared, you know, had he had faith, patience, perseverance, he would have been all right. You know, yeah, that's what you got to pray for. You got to pray to persevere. You know, and through the Spirit, he wasn't to the point of dying. See, E loves to act like he's starving. E loves to act like he's poor. You know, he got $5,000 in the bank. He want to act like he poor. It's all a bunch of dramatics with E, man. When I was bringing out the word, you had a couple of these women, man. They were quiet all the way up until they get around me. Now they laughing all loud, shit, stumbling. You had Jake out there, but it was mostly E. You know, verse 33. And where I particularly live is a E stronghold, man. It really is. I live in what you call a red zone. It says, and Jacob said, Swear to me this day, and he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Right, and Jacob means a supplanter. So really, he finessed E. It says, then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him, and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell of thee. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven. And I will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Yeah, because in the kingdom, you other nations, you going to fall up under us. So really, you just going to be blessed by default. Now, you're not going to be as blessed as us. You're going to be blessed by default. Forgive me. Alright, it says, because that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister. So, Abraham finessed, man. Abraham finessed. And Abraham was Jacob's grandfather. Okay? It says, She is my sister, for he feared to say she is my wife, lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. So Rebekah was beautiful, right? And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And how saidst thou, She is my sister? Isaac said unto him, Because I said, Lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, What is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have leaned with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac sowed in that land, and received in the same year an hundredfold, and the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great and went forward, and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks and possession of herds, and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. So these wells, upon reading this, these wells, right, are really people, right, that holds the water. That's why it says, for all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. Yeah, so put that worldly philosophy upon them, right? It says, and Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father. So, really creating good men. Okay, Isaac prophesied, right? For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. So once again, even though you have Israelites, you had the children of Adam, right, which were the righteous men. So even before we were called Israelites, we were righteous, right? That's why it says after the names by which his father had called them. It says, and Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water, which was that understanding. It says, and the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, the water is ours, and he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. And they digged another well and strove for that also, and he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence and digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, for now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. So he set up men even back then. It says, and he went up from thence to Beersheba. The Lord appeared unto him the same night, and said, I am the power of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee. Multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he builded an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants digged a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzath, one of his friends, and Pekah, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And we said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt not, that thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace, thou art now the blessed of the Lord. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. And they rose up betimes in the morning, and sware one to another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. Verse 34, And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Bashemath the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief of mine unto Isaac and to Rebekah. So he didn't want them marrying them, man. He said, why don't you get yourself a good Israelite wife, you know? But prior to being Israelites, you know, they were like, okay, we want you to be with somebody, of your nation, okay? Because even before we were called Israelites, we were Israelites, okay? Genesis chapter 27 and verse 1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here I am. Yeah, and I've seen that when a person is gets to a certain age, like especially when they get to be like in their 90s, almost 100. Their eyes become cloudy, and they start to lose their eyesight. I've seen that happen many times. And you can see when a person is close to death in old age, they start to have extreme hallucinations. They start to see their mother, their father, certain family members, certain friends. And they have very deep hallucinations, man. Anyways, verse 2. I knew this old lady. She was about 105 years old, man. And she would call me Jim. She said that I looked like Jim. She must have known somebody of color named Jim from years and years ago. But she would have these hallucinations where she would be like 10 years old again. She would call for her mom. And she would really be convinced that she was there, man. But she would always call me Jim every time she saw me. And this was when I was first coming into the truth. She would grab me by the hand, and she would say that, basically, I trust you. You're not like the people that I see, and that's another thing that, the older you get, the better you are at judging character. Because her being 105, man, you can't trust everybody. They want your money. They want your power of attorney, right? And although she would forget, my name, she recognized my voice because her eyesight wasn't good, but she recognized my voice. And she trusted me. All right, but verse 2, it says, And he said, Behold, now I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison. Make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats. I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. so Rebecca was showing Jacob how to finesse, which of course, the woman is just she is a very good finesser. Okay. It says, and thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me and not a blessing. His mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. She gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy power brought it to me. So he was righteously finessing, okay? And it's not like he was feeding them, crab legs and nothing. No, he's feeding them, clean meat, right? And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore Yahweh give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren. Let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. So as soon as Jacob got that blessing, he was out. He dipped, and immediately after he dipped out, that's when Esau came into the room. And through the spirit, it was like right afterwards. It was like 2 minutes after he left. It says, and he also made savory meat and brought it unto his father. He said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me, and I have eaten of all before thou camest, and blessed him? Yeah, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Isaac, thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And Barakati Halba Hashim Yahushai, Barakati Halba Hashim Yahushai, Barakati Halba Hashim Yahushai, Bahashim Ha Rakah Kwadash for that. Okay? And hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? Yeah, the supplanter. It's beautiful. For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright. And behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. Hey man, got you. So he got the birthright. And he got the blessing, right? And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. So that's why he's in the position that he's in now, right? And see, dew only lasts in the very wee hours of the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. But once the sun truly comes out and establishes itself on the earth, right? That sunlight, that's when the dew disappears. Okay? It says of the dew of heaven from above. So he has everything. He has the fatness of the earth. Right? He's blessed right now, but that blessing is going to disappear. Verse 40, And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Just like the times of Cain and Abel, right? And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, let me go back up. So, and once again, how were the words of Esau, her elder son, told to Rebekah? Through the Spirit. She was warned, okay? Verse 43, she probably had a dream, or maybe she just had a feeling, that in the Spirit reveals a lot to women, right? Now, they don't have any understanding of why, but they have the wisdom to understand that it was the Lord who did it, okay? Verse 43, Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise. Flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran. So she said, okay, go to my brother, right? And tarry with him a few days until thy brother's fury turn away. But see, through the Spirit, she knew that she wasn't going to see him again. It says, verse 45, Until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him, then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Which, see, she knew that he wasn't going to come back. So the same finesse that she taught to use on Esau, and was taught to use on Isaac, her father, she used on him, right? Which once again, the woman is the ultimate finesser. Okay, it says, then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are of the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me? So yeah, she wanted daughters-in-law of the same nation. She didn't want no damn Hamite daughters. She didn't want no, you know, daughters from any of the other land. No Canaanite daughters. No, not. No, she wanted children, right, with a likeness to her. And that's like any of the nations, right? If you got a Moabite grandma, she wants Moabite kids. If you got a Hamite grandmother, she wants Hamite kids, right? So if you got a Israelite grandmother or Israelite mother, she wants Israelite kids to spring forth out of you. You know, and it doesn't really matter what the woman is, because ultimately you are what your father is. But you know, for argument's sake, women like to be around their own kind. Once again, I was okay. So they were Canaanites that she was speaking about. Genesis chapter 28 and verse 1, it says, And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. And at first, the land of Israel was the Canaanites until it was gifted to us. Right, verse 2, Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethel, thy mother's father. Take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. So once again, okay, a child of Israel. Okay, before, before Israel existed. Okay, so like a child of Adam, a child of righteousness. You know, a child of light. It says verse 3, And Yahweh Shem Yahushai Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people. And we are the offspring of that multitude of people, Lord's will. It says, And give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee, and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which Yahweh gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Padan Aram unto Laban, son of Bethuel the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob and Esau's mother. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Padan Aram to take a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob obeyed his father and mother, and was gone to Padan Aram. Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, what did Esau do? This damn devil. Then went Esau unto Ishmael, and took unto the wives which he had Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife. So he got himself a heathen wife. You know, he just being an asshole. You know, verse 10, And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran, and he lighted up a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of Yahweh ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it, and said, I am the Lord power of Abraham thy father, and the power of Isaac. The land wherein thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, Thou shalt spread abroad to the west, right, out here to America, to the east, and to the north, and to the south, so everywhere, right? He's speaking about the children of Israel. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and I will bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and said, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. He was afraid, and said, How dreadful is this place! This is none other but the house of Yahweh, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning, and took the stone that he had put for his pillows, and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel. The name of that city was called Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, If Yahweh will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Lord be my power, and this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be Yahweh's house. And of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the tenth unto thee. Alright, so he paid his tithes, through the Spirit. So in that was a setup. That was him setting up, ultimately the nation of Israel before it was called the nation of Israel. He was basically saying, that I'm going to like basically the Lord is going to get a kickback, because once again, that remnant, okay, we're still paying homage to the Heavenly Father, right? Genesis 29:1. Then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks. And a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? So these were men, right? And it says, And they said, Of Haran are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water his sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. 30 days. Okay. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And this is what you're seeing and reading and witnessing now is the setting up of the nation of Israel. Okay, verse 16. And Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. So when you go up here, see he had met Rachel. Right, when it says he kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept, he embraced her, right? And he said, and by lift up his voice and wept, that's a sense of lamentation. Like, okay, is she, does she have a man? You know, like when you see a real beautiful woman, you just, it almost brings a tear to your eye. You know what I mean? You're like, oh damn, like I can't believe, she's bad. You know what I mean? That's basically how Jacob was. He was encaptured by her beauty. It damn near brought a tear to his eye, right? It says, Slock, your screen is messing up. Try to bring it up a little bit. It says, and Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed. So yeah, Leah looked all right. She looked good. She was nice. But Rachel was beautiful and well favored. So he really liked Rachel. And of course, you know how Jake liked him. Jake liked him young. You know what I mean? So she was very young. Okay. Says, and Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had for her. So that was nothing. That was nothing to Jake, man. Jake did that. Alright, and Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. So yeah, he wanted to lay with her, because she was a virgin, right? And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. It came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for an handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, what is this thou hast done unto me? Yeah, so Jacob got finessed, man. He was probably drunk. He was probably having a great time. He's eating. He's drinking. He's having a great time. So, he got presented Leah, and he's upset when he wakes up. Like, oh man, like what did I do? Right? Because sex is marriage. Okay, it says, what is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? And really he did that because he wanted Jacob to bless his first daughter and his second daughter, and he wanted to keep Jacob around because he knew as soon as he gave Jacob Rachel, he knew that Jake was gonna dip out. So that was like an insurance policy. He said, okay, boom, okay, got 7 years out of him. And I know he's going to stick around for Rachel. I know he's not going to leave. So that's what I'm going to do. He already planned that. okay? This is all through the Spirit. It says, wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? And Laban said, it must not be so done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week. And he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, because the Lord hath heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me thy son also. And she called his name Simeon. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. And she conceived again and bare a son, and she said, now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah, and left bearing. And Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children. Rachel envied her sister, and said unto Jacob, give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. And he said, am I in Yahweh's stead, who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? Yeah, so he's saying, hey, it ain't my damn fault. Alright? It says, and she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. So basically, it's like a what you call a surrogate today. Which none of these women will do that. None of these women, if they're bare, will let you go and lay with her maid. That ain't happening these days. We talking about the ancient times. Verse 4, and she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to wife, and Jacob went in unto her, so he popped her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, Yahweh hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore called she his son Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. Ooh, so now now Jacob's really in there, man. It says, in Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, a troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob his second son. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou have taken away my son's mandrakes also? Oh, she's petty as hell. And Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. So Jacob said, all right, I'm gonna get it in. It says, and Yahweh hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob the 5th son. And Leah said, Yahweh hath given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. and she called his name Issachar, right? He is hired. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the sixth son. And Leah said, Yahweh hath endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And after she bare a daughter, and her name was Dinah. And Yahweh remembered Rachel, and Yahweh hearkened to her, and opened her womb. And she conceived and bare a son, and said, Yahweh hath taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, The Lord shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, Send me away, that I may go unto mine own place, into my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry. So he's saying, please, man, wait. I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. So he's saying, he's trying to keep a blessing, because he knows once Jacob leaves, not that the blessings are leaving with him, but he understands that the Lord is with him. Okay. Verse 28, and he said, Appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. And he said unto him, Thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. For it was little which thou hadst before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude, and the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. And now when shall I provide for mine own house also? And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, Behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And he removed that day the he-goats that were ring-straked and spotted, and all she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hand of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob. And Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar, and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and peeled white strakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutters, and the watering troughs when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle, ring-straked, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks towards the ring-straked, and all the brown in the flock of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods between the eyes of the cattle and the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maid servants, and men servants, and camels and asses. So, he increased. Jake increased, man. And he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's. Yeah, man, so they was mad. But ultimately, that blessing came with Jacob, right? And of that which was our father's hath he gotten all this glory. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. And the Lord said unto Jacob, Return unto the land of thy fathers, and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field under his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before, but the power of my father hath been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, I did right by your pops. You know, I did right by your pops, man. You know, and they knew that too. Verse 70, your father hath deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. But Yahweh suffered him not to hurt me. If he said thus, the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ringstrake shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ringstrake. Thus Yahweh hath taken away the cattle of your father, and given them to me. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes and saw in a dream, behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ringstraked, speckled, and gristled. The angel of Yahweh spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here I am. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes and see, all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ringstraked, speckled, and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto me. I am the power of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out of this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he hath sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which Yahweh hath taken from our father, that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever Yahweh hath said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, and the cattle of his getting which he had gotten in Padan Aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan, which later on would become the land of Israel. Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, and that he told him not that he fled. Yeah, so, hey, Jake dipped. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the 3rd day that Jacob was fled, and he took his brethren with him, and pursued after him 7 days' journey. And they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And Yahweh came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the Mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword? Which really, you know, Jake didn't do nothing wrong. Those daughters are his now, man. All right, he had like that spirit of Esau, man. Oh, that's mine. You did me wrong, right? It says, Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and didst not tell me, that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, with tabret, and with harp? You know, so basically with approval. And hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters. So once again, man, he in that weak spirit, okay? Thou hast now done foolishly in so doing. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the power of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob, either good or bad. And now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after my father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Peradventure, thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live. Before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images, and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. So basically she's saying that I have to listen to what Jacob is saying. You know, she belongs to Jacob. It says, and he searched but found not the images. And Jacob was wroth and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, What is my trespass? So yeah, what the fuck did I do? Right? What is my sin that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff? What hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee, I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was, in the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Except the power of my father, the power of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me, surely thou hadst sent me away now empty. So yeah, he's saying if it wasn't for Yahweh, he wouldn't have been blessed. Okay? He knew that the blessing didn't come from Laban, it came from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Right? It says, Yahweh hath seen mine affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne? Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, I and thou, let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, Gather stones. And they took stones and made an heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Jegar-sahadutha, but Jacob called it Gilead. And Laban said, This heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Gilead. And Mizpah, for he said, The Lord watch between me and thee, when we are absent from one another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives besides my daughters, no man is with us. See, Yahweh is witness betwixt me and thee. And Laban said to Jacob, Behold this heap, and behold this pillar which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The power of Abraham, the power of Nahor, the power of their father, judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac. Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And in the early morning Laban rose up, and kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed, and returned unto his place. So the Lord sent him back, man. Okay, took that jealous ass spirit off, man. And really, he ought to be lucky he just got to do that, man. Cause see, by messing with Jacob, man, you putting yourself in the line of fire. It was preordained for Jacob to set up everything to create eventually what would be the land of Israel, in which that's our inheritance. What we'll be getting back very soon, Lord's will. If we just continue on. So once again, I didn't plan on the video being this long, but that's the spirit, man. We can't determine anything. It's through the will and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So hopefully this video was edifying. The water to the Holy Spirit for resting upon me to do this whole lesson. And although I didn't get to put this particular video up on the screen, I was able to go over a very important point about, Jacob went through all years and years of the BS, just to get released. And we'll do the same thing, for the woman that we love, which is His wisdom. So Barak called Akim to you, brothers, man. Call hello Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostle elders of the great millstone who rule well. And honors to you, brothers, who are bringing out this word in sincerity and in faith. Okay? The water Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And really, this was just a study point for me, lesson for me. Just like this video up here. Maybe it was just to solidify some points that I was thinking of through the Spirit. A lot of times it's for you to get blessed. Like when you read this story, it was for Jacob to get blessed, and it was for Laban to get blessed also. He probably thought very heavily in the Spirit on his way back home, on the things that he did, the anger that he came with. And ultimately, he understood that he gave his daughters to a good man, a man that would go on to, to live to live a infinitely beautiful lifestyle, man. By coming back, man, through the seed. You come back through your seed, man. And to see that, man, that he had 12 great sons who are the progenitors of the 12 tribes of Israel. So call halal, call halayim la, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ha-Rakah Quadash, man. May you brothers and few sisters be edified. Okay? Just understand that the time is coming in which the sun is setting on this place, man. We're gonna get to the point where we get beamed up in them chariots, and we get taken back to the land that was established here in these scriptures, man. All right, shalom.